How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
Who's looking after your hearts this winter? Apart from the Lord Jesus and His Savior.
Oh, the Lord Jesus, the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
And amen.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Ubani. Be very careful.
Listen.
Be very careful.
I'll ask you next week.
Okay,
You can't get away from it.
Yes, ask me next week. Just as I told you that, listen, my uncle's going to listen to this episode.
Yes, Ulumes.
And you are trying to
understands these
mischief.
things. He understands.
No, I just left home and I was talking about the podcast and he was like, where do I listen to it? I said on SoundCloud, on whatever. He was like, so you send me the link when you have it.
Thank you for the support, Malume.
So I was like, he was like, sometimes I don't know these online things. But then he was like, why is it not on YouTube? Then it got me thinking that, yes, we definitely need to put the audio
audios
up on YouTube.
Yeah.
We should cut out the music because
we'll need to. But we wanted to do that with the last one, didn't we?
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Oh, we can't do that with the throwback one
too much music.
Yeah, but the ones that don't have, we'll just chop it up and just put it on there.
Quick question.
Yes.
What are you grateful for today? 3 things, not one thing. 3 things that you're grateful for.
For today?
Yes. Just today.
Okay. So I'm grateful that I went for a Zumba class before now, like after work. And
well done.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to kind of get back into gym and all that stuff. So I'm actually glad that I did it. And, I've been putting it off.
You did it.
But I did it. And I just feel like I conquered by doing it on a Monday.
Nice.
So I am grateful for that. Number 2, what am I grateful for? There's something to do with work that I'm grateful for. Oh yeah, okay. I managed to complete something.
Okay.
Like to get something off my list of things to do.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. Number 3. I don't know. I woke up today and I felt really good.
Good.
Like I felt there's this prayer that I've been saying, which is like basically, God, please meet me where I am. I don't have the strength.
Enter where you abide.
Yeah, I don't have the strength right now to do my bit and to be my best version. But I'm just like, God, just come where, please extend your grace, just come where I am. And I just felt really, really good. Like I have a lot of worries, a lot of concerns, obviously thinking about going into the next decade, 2020 and all that stuff. But yeah, I just felt like a peace, which really like I shouldn't feel, but I felt it. So I'm grateful for that. What about you?
Okay, so I actually should have thought about this. I thought about the question, but I didn't think about the answer. Okay,
maybe think of one thing that you're grateful for.
I think I'm grateful for
today,
for life, and for the opportunity for second chances. I think every day that's something that I want to kind of start each day with. That, you know what, today is an opportunity. It's a second chance for me to live in a way that is, I guess a better version of me or something along those lines.
Yeah. No, that's good. So, welcome to Girl in Skies with me, Natasha.
And Xolie.
And I sometimes go by Nat.
I sometimes go by Michelle.
Yes, Michelle. Wagwan.
So, what is happening? So,
do you know what? I was going to say, one thing that I'm so upset about. So, do you watch Power?
I haven't watched the last few episodes, to be honest.
Okay, but I mean, you've watched it and stuff. So I also have not caught up, because what happened, right, is Power came out and then Top Boy came out, right? And then I just immediately binged on Top Boy and I liked it. And I think I was so upset about the Power, the Trey songs. This is a So I think I was just like,
whatever.
You know what?
Push it to the side.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, I'm going to let Power episodes pile up.
So that you can binge on it. Yeah.
How come I know who's dead? Like, I
thank you to social media. Even I know who's dead.
Oh my God. Like, literally. Like, I know all the different characters. I know let me not spoil it, but...
Yeah. I
just
saw
like...
Roy Timi actually tweeted or posted something on his page about how he's like, we thank God for the way that we act because people are actually DMing me saying, how is so-and-so dead? Is he really? Do you know something along those lines? So I was like,
because I saw one. I don't know if I should spoil.
Don't spoil it.
Okay.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, like I was so upset. I saw that, and then I saw the characters labo, they literally post the next day, and I'm just like,
come on.
Yeah, do you remember back in the day where like we would get, even say in the UK, like you would get like, I used to watch The Good Wife, for example. Like, you get it like a week after. And I used to hate it, like, when you go online and the official, because we follow, like, the official TV, Twitter handles or Facebook handles. And then they put it out. And then I saw Ghost in a Wheelchair. Listen, I will write to 50 Cent myself.
And be like, what what's going on?
Listen, I was just like,
what is this? What is this Jabba Jantis? But you know, this is what we went through as well. Like with this is why people were getting up at 3 a.m. to watch Game of Thrones. Because you knew that literally you miss like an hour or something. People are going to be tweeting and spoiling everywhere.
Are you a Game of Thrones?
Yes. From season 1.
Really?
Like, and thank you for the person who hooked me up on that, by the way.
Who was it?
An old friend. Who was like, oh, you know what? I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, you know, it's not for me. But then once I got into it, I was like, really?
I never got into it.
I don't know what you're missing.
Really? Do you think it's too late for me to get into it? Like, I kind of feel like I see a lot of people are not happy. No, I don't know anything. Like, I literally don't know the characters because it never made sense to me when I saw people tweeting about it. But all I know is that it seems a lot of people were not happy with the way
it
ending.
ending. Yeah, I know.
Right? Because I saw someone doing like a Halloween costume with like a garbage.
Did you say a costume? English data bundles. Data bundles depleted.
Yeah. So I saw someone like with the Starbucks cup and people were like,
oh, yeah. But anywho. So last week, we did a throwback.
Yeah.
That was fun, man.
Okay.
And we actually came to the conclusion or the realization that other people are coconuts. Black on the outside, white on the inside. You know, listening to Britney, Westlife, Backstreet.
Do you know how many people were like, I love you, but your taste in music. And I'm just like, and I was like, wait, guys, what I'm trying to say is this is the music we used to listen to.
No, we didn't.
Because people were like, I don't trust your taste in music. I was like, after all I've done for you guys.
We did.
In the music world.
No, I think
but
we all have our strengths. Music is not yours.
Don't you of all people don't front. But anyway, you know what? I'll hand it to you. Everyone was like, I'm giving Colin the aux cord.
Yo.
But now I will give you the electric cord.
Hilarious.
No, and shout out to her name is Hetla. Oh my God. Okay. She added songs on the playlist, on the throwback playlist. Oh my God.
You.
And there were some bangers
Thank you.
on there. So thank you so much for adding. So you guys can actually, like, if you find the playlist, it's a collaborative one. You can add like whatever music you guys like.
Nanya screen. If there's anything, you know, it's not going to make it. It's not going to make it onto
this is democracy.
I kid. Fagadin stuff. Okay. Were there any comments that you wanted to read out? Not really, because it was just all.
All the comments are like, golly. I was like,
the G.
And then there I was like responding to the comments like, yeah, Nat's taste is trash.
Acknowledgement is very important. But anyway, moving on, politics. Is there anything that you want to discuss today?
On the politics front, so I've been meaning to talk about this, but put it off. So the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, won the Nobel Peace Prize, the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize. They say that the award recognized his efforts to achieve peace and international cooperation. And the role that he's played in resolving the conflict with Eritrea. So it's very interesting. So Abiy Ahmed is 42 years old.
Young man.
He has been in power for approximately a year now. A lot of parallels have been drawn to Barack Obama when he won the award. If you remember when Barack Obama got into office in 2008, it wasn't even a year when he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. And it kind of got me thinking. If you read the headlines, it appears that he's done good things. You know, he's managed to resolve the conflict in Eritrea that has been going on for a number of years. He kind of has that. So my understanding is that his religious background is Muslim and Christian. And you know that's a big thing because Eritrea is significantly a Christian nation in comparison to Ethiopia. So you kind of draw those parallels of of Barack Obama being biracial, sort of like being a bridge. So that's what he's done. He's played a role in so not just in Ethiopia, but also in neighboring countries. You know, he's played a role in I think it's Kenya and Somalia, the maritime issues that they have with the pirates. He's got involved and tried to be a stabilizing force within the region. One thing that I was reading up is that he appointed the first woman chief justice in Ethiopia, and quite a lot of women in significant posts. And I believe he also appointed a woman who was from the opposition to run the Electoral Commission.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So he's really kind of done these big gestures to kind of liberalize and sort of like democratize. Again, that doesn't come without its
issues.
Issues. But he's done kind of like the big things. And I was actually thinking that it reminded me that I know some people who went, like, there was a conference that was hosted in Ethiopia for social enterprise, which is, a big thing that Ethiopia would be host to this thing because, like social investment, social enterprise, that whole world, of impact investing and all that stuff is becoming a big thing. So it kind of got me, it was interesting because I thought of like the Obama thing, and I was listening to I forget it was on the BBC, and they were talking about how apparently Donald Trump, it appears, was gunning for the Nobel Peace Prize as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the person who was saying it, again, that's their own analysis. They were saying that Trump's thing is basically trying to outdo Obama.
Yeah, of course.
Because Obama won it. So, that's why he was, getting involved with the North Korea and all that stuff. Then it kind of got me thinking about how so the Peace Prize, you'd think like, okay, it's basically saying, you have promoted priests, you've done like a great job, and seemingly I think the headlines, it means he's heading in that direction.
Yeah.
But to win a prize similar with Obama.
Yeah.
Like some would argue that it's quite early in his tenure.
Quite premature.
However, I just think that we're now entering a world where the Nobel Peace Prize is now a global diplomatic tool, right? That is used to nudge behavior, right? So it's like a soft power tool. It's no longer, I think, how it was used before, where you really done the work, but it's kind of like they're recognizing that Ethiopia, that whole region has been so unstable. Eritrea, Somalia, there's just been so much instability that you kind of want to promote further stability. It's sort of the same thing with America, because they were coming off, George Bush, who some would say was warmongering, right? So they wanted like an Obama who maybe is just a bit more, that he wouldn't continue that, that vein of like going into wars. But we know
I get that. But I think the issue is, on the same coin, is that there's loads of discussion that this, the Peace Prize given to him was a bit premature.
Yeah.
About the talks with the ceasefire with Eritrea is still, apparently there's been no communication. So it's in essence, he ended it, quote unquote, but really because the Eritreans have actually just kept quiet. And there's also the whole element, the borders actually, the land borders remain closed, and people are actually, the people who can actually, like, I think he opened the borders or something, but it's only via air. And how many people can actually travel by air? So again, it's a very elitist kind of thing. So I do feel, in a way, that you're right, that maybe it is kind of a nudging thing, like, okay, so let this be the way it goes forward. But I do feel it's premature in that, why don't you wait a few years? Like, how do you know what if there's unrest in the next few months, in the next few years? Do you then take that away from him? You can't take it away from him, because it's already...
Yeah, and I agree with you, which is why when I was thinking about it, I was sort of like, now sort of like taking it away from the recipient of the prize, and literally really drawing parallels with Obama, that, it was the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That, they wanted Obama to end the Iraq war and all that stuff, and it was a nudging thing. But we know that, with Obama, drones and all that stuff in Afghanistan, that continued, right? But it's just, for me, it was just like, I would be interested in seeing if there's someone who has some research, who's done like some PhD or something on the role of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee.
Yeah.
And the role that it's playing on the global stage.
Yeah.
And, how, that is actually just becoming a tool. It's just the same like with human rights, right? In the sense that there's a lot of human rights washing. So, for example, like a lot of countries in the West or whatever will say certain countries are not upholding human rights, and use that as a tool to shape policy and behavior. And that's a conversation that we can have another time, because because sometimes it's up. There's different cultural contexts and all that stuff. But it was just interesting to me thinking about the role that.
It's actually...
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's do we save this for another time? Because I think this is...
Then we can talk about that in China.
Yeah.
And just the continent and the tools that are being used.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay, fair enough. We look forward to it. Okay. So we have to kind of apologize, guys, because this week is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. Unfortunately, life is just in traffic.
But anyway, okay. So, last week we were talking, like we had the throwback, and then we talked a little bit about, I guess we kind of touched on like, what did you used to do Christmas? Did you used to get a Christmas box and stuff? And I remember I was thinking that my memory of Christmas, like, because I grew up with my grandparents, and I think I even said in the throwback episode how I was like walking in the veranda singing, "Don't walk away," and my grandmother was like, "Hey, what's going on?" So so I was just thinking about Christmas, and like my memory of Christmas is just thinking of ukoko, and like Christmas was a big thing. Like I would get like a new dress and everything, right? And people who used to know me used to be like I was Gogo's child, literally. They'll be like, like so then we've kind of been talking about family, like different aspects of family, and I think what you and I have, I think what we've kind of shared in common is, I think we've shared in common a lot, but I don't think we've really talked about the role of grandparents. I think I've talked more about like my grandparents, but what about you? Like, did you?
So I think last week when you talked about your where you were singing that song and your grandma, and we then had this discussion about the whole okoko labokulu. For me, like, it made me think about my favorite memory of my granddad. Okay, and my granddad is a man who holds a very special place in my heart. Is when I was I was in primary school. So my granddad, Wailom Tutu, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would hear his motorbike from literally, that way. Actually, this is something we should talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hear like the engine from my uncle's car.
Well, let's go.
No, not even a skoro, but you would hear, and then the way the house would be so tidy. But anyway, my granddad had a motorbike, and he would come like Nama weekends, and like the way like back home the house and the gate was such a distance away. So I would hear him, and I would run to the gate, and then hop on from the gate to the house. And that for me was the most amazing thing for the day. And then when he left, I'd hop on at the back and he said get, and then I'd walk back.
Yeah.
So that is something that I hold very dear to my heart, because, that man, he was fun. He was somebody that, he would encourage us, to just be dancing, to be having fun when he was around. So he just had that spirit about him. And, and then as I grew up into primary school, even into secondary school, where I was at like a tower block. And I would go up. I remember it was like, right, I don't know, it was 11th or 12th floor. And I'd go up and I'm like, oh, come on, look on.
Yeah.
And, he would buy me lunch. So, so it was a very, I guess for me, I used to receive a lot. He's a man who, I don't know, he was just so full of love.
Yeah.
And I just remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. And, I remember more, and I've got a lot more memories with my ukoko. But I remember those small things with my granddad.
Yeah.
So very special.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, it's the role that grandparents played in our lives. And maybe at a later time we can kind of delve more into that. But then what we wanted to really talk about this episode, or touch on because of time, is just the role that grandparents play now in 2019, 2020, in this world where was spread all over the world, in this, what I call the how they robbed us world, where the dynamics, are not necessarily the same. We're not all in Zim, where you have your child, and then your child goes Montrose, or whatever for the weekend. But actually what we're seeing more and more now is, I guess the context is the world that we're living in now. For example, in the UK, we can only talk about the UK, like childcare is so expensive, right? So you see more and more people, to be fair, maybe recently I haven't really heard more of those stories, just because immigration in the UK, Gunzima, but more and more people bringing over, like, especially like maybe their mothers, like bring over ukoko, their grandmothers, to help with childcare, because childcare is really expensive. And I think in an effort to almost try and recreate that world that you would have at home, where, ukoko plays a part of even being sort of like the primary caregiver, or the second in command, if mama is not there, which is great. I think it's beautiful when people can bring people over to the UK. Again, we'll just talk about the UK because that's all we know, but not just the UK, bring people over. But then it kind of So I've had conversations. I mean, I love old people, and like, and I don't know if it's because I grew up like with my grandmother was like the my first primary, person that I just feel endeared, to abantu abadala, and I've kind of over the years realized that this kind of dynamic is not, it is very focused on, say, the person who's in the UK, Canada, or whatever, right? Their need to have help, right? From, to look after their child. Then the grandmother comes here, but then I don't think anyone thinks of grandparents in a foreign setting. And what I mean is that I've come across a lot of examples where it kind of feels like abantu abadala, they can be mistreated because, they're coming over, they don't get paid. Again, I know this is like, some people have strong views, but, they don't have like their own like allowance, because it's just taken for granted that, you know what, you're coming to look after your grandchild. You should be happy, right? Then they're coming and they're living with maybe you and your partner, right? Their in-law, they're these. They're not the queen or king of their castle, and what that does for them, that lack of autonomy to do things, I think can be crushing. And I've seen examples of abantu abadala who are like, please just take me back home. I love my grandkids and whatever, but just take me back home. But then what that does is sort of sometimes build a resentment where people don't understand. They're like, why are you not happy to be here? Well, we are in the UK and stuff like that.
I don't know. It's interesting. So we did talk about this, and I don't quite share the sentiment. Like, where people mistreat Ogogo, because I think that, Tina, the generation that we the generation is later like Ogogo, because again, number one, it's something that is happening less and less. Number two, I think what I have seen of people bringing their grandmothers over, there's two things. One thing is that sometimes, if you think about it, if our mothers were here, they would be Okoko, right? But they would have now been set up in such a way, which, if it might be that Bonabasi later that, so then they still maintain, they have their own lives. We have our own lives, and then maybe we have children, and then they look after the kids in such a way that, they go to work, and then say, can you pick up Umtwana today and I'll do it tomorrow. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is when, Tina, again, people our generation are now bringing their mothers over. But I have to be honest and say that from what I have seen, I don't agree with the element which they're being mistreated. I think that, when you talk about having an allowance and stuff, like if we were in Zimbabwe, they wouldn't necessarily have an allowance, but the chances are they would still come with for the first few months or whatsoever. There's that element of helping because see, as a umntwana, right, you need to get that guidance from somewhere. So that happens. Well, Tessie, we deserve that. We deserve to have our parents coming over to help us when we're looking after our kids. So if you're bringing them over, so they're coming to help and they have that knowledge that, what umntwana kakwazi uba lo mntwana. Ukakwazi ukuthi enze njani lo mntwana, so I'm coming to help. But then to now expect ukuthi says athola allowance. I don't know how you balance that.
But okay, so the first example that you gave, right, is say of a parent who's here in the UK, who who brought their child and is settled in the UK and becomes a grandmother, that's different, right? So I'm specifically focusing on, so forget that, that's fine, that's okay. But I'm specifically focusing on when people are brought from Zim, right, to a foreign space to help their child.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that a blanket that in all those instances they are mistreated. No. I think what I wanted to do was just kind of like, no, I think sometimes our generation or abantu abayang and intanga, like because we've never been old, like sometimes we lack the how can I, that perspective taking of actually thinking, okay, I'm bringing my parent over right here. It's a new land and everything, right? Of course, Ukoko wants to, that's their grandchild, right? They want to help. So there is that family natural thing, right? But I do think sometimes I have seen examples where people kind of just take it for granted that, of course, Ukoko should come, and then you uproot them, right, from Zim. Yes, things are tough in Zim, right? But go back to that scenario there where you talked about grandparents who are already here, who work here, right? Do you know what that means? They have their own space. They have a place that they call their own, that is their own kingdom. But what I'm saying is that when you bring people over here, I'm not saying it's all bad, right? But I'm just saying sometimes we need be like ukuthi umuntu omdala nje, right?
But wait, let me ask you a question. But let me ask you a question.
Give them money, yeah.
No, let me ask you a question. No, I get that. Like, and I don't necessarily feel that people do not give them money. I don't think that. I
feel like people just think like, oh, a grandparent is supposed to do that. They just take it for granted that this is now your life and your role.
No, but Kangela, like, imagine we're in Zim and you, like, so as it is, if I was in Zim right now and like right now, and Ukoko came over, so Ukoko was already coming from, again, a place where she's the queen. She may not have a lot, but she's the queen of her turf in that particular scenario. And then she's coming now, say, we're to my space, to my and my husband's space. Ezo's kind of like Lumtuan. She is living with me. She's living with Lumtuana. She's living with my husband as well. So again, there's that change of dynamics. I guess when you're looking at
the same applies.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So then I'm just wondering, like, why you feel that why we can't replicate that for here.
No, but I'm saying the same issues apply in that scenario that you've given, right? Yeah. It's really about perspective taking, right? About making sure even ugogo nxa evela eKezi and they're coming here into your space, lihlale hillside or wherever it is that lihlala khona, it's still the same issues of, I think making Ukoko comfortable and not assuming that she just wants to be with you guys all the time just because you guys are in a better environment. And I think it's the same here in the UK or wherever, right? Where sometimes I feel like some people my age just assume that, oh, I've brought, my mom, over from Zim, here, like the situation is better, but not realizing that, what, I should create an environment where, oh, mama, let me find a local Zim church or something. Maybe mama get brethren, let me find a community. Let her be her own person, right? Let her be, don't feel like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes you find that because they don't know anything, right? It's even different. Say if someone's coming from Kezi to Hillside, they can easily say Tumtanak or to other people, Ali come say, let me just take my lift and go back. But it's such a different world when you bring someone over here. I actually know people who've gone back.
But there's something about, I think this is the beauty of us as Zimbabweans or us as people. There's that humanness. You know, I think I want, maybe I'm naive in thinking that, but there's that.
Okay. What I'm saying, okay.
No, I get it.
Would you pay, say, you know, you were in that situation?
Would I pay Gogo?
Or give them an allowance? Give them.
Okay, but now we're now speaking and thinking like the way we've been colonized. You know, you need to pay in monetary, because bear in mind. Because you know what, Ukoko. And I'm thinking about my Gogo.
Yes.
Engabuya lapha since it's Gogo nansi pheli imali
No.
allow, quote unquote.
No, you won't say that.
She wouldn't take it, because she'd be like, you know what?
No, you wouldn't say what. Oh, Nancy Mali, thank you for looking after little Aliyah.
Nancy drink.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. But the most in the you know. We are cheating. Okay. I can say isn't chewy 40 pounds la pan. Naturally, but you know,
there you go. So that is something that I think happens.
But people don't do that.
But people, even in Zim though, people don't necessarily do. People,
and I'm saying the same applies.
But people do other things. For example, I know that Coca-Cola. The banana this is the thing for her. So then I feel like, because I'm thinking even right now, when I go home, of course I've got monetary value, so I can give Imadi, right? I can say Coco Nancy's a drink. But I know that for her, what probably, the way I will see a smile on her face is if she had the things that she loves, you know. So some food, so the Coke, the love of food runs in my family, guys. I know that, you know, the Coke and a banana, she's happy. She's a happy woman. Do you see what I mean? So there's something about being subtle as well.
But when you are now, when you are now saying, this is what I'm going to give you, you're taking away the power. Because what money does, when you give somebody money, you're giving them the power of choice to do whatever it is that they want. So you can do that in addition. You can't say, oh, Mtengele is or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I hear you. But also bear in mind, when they go back or and stuff, and I think this is how. And maybe this is where we are seeing things differently, in that instead of maybe, you know, giving someone £100 a week, you know, or whatever it is, you know, sitting and say drink. When you, even in Sim, you know, we go out.
Of course.
See a shop, we buy food, and and then you also give Imad a drink.
Okay, I'm glad you talked about when they go back, because I've come across cases where, you know, Coco was supposed to come for the first year or whatever. And then reality hits that childcare doesn't end when the child turns 1, right? And then Coco's now been here for years and years and like not going home. But they're like thoroughly unhappy.
I honestly, I don't share that narrative at all. Because I think if someone Ukoko has been here for years and years, like you're saying, then there's an element of Ukoko will start integrating the society.
No, and that's why you have to that's why you have to create that environment that allows them to have a life. You know, I just think sometimes I've come across situations where people, they just think, you know, you know, like all they want to do is dote over, you know, the bundles of joy, the good vibes and bad vibes, you know. But I just think that there's something about us being mindful that people have a life. And it, you know what, we're talking of Okok, and even like again, it doesn't really happen anymore now because immigration has tightened up. But you know, like when people used to bring even, I know examples of people used to bring like their helpers who were like their helpers in Zim, you know, to come here and stuff like that. And then they would get surprised when people when people ran away because like they were not, you know, being paid and they were at the back end call of this person 24. I think that's my issue. Where someone is at like your back end call. Like like they're your person.
Yeah.
They are following your agenda. They don't have a day where it's like, this is just my agenda, where they can just be like, you know, this is just me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's also kind of a topic for future episodes as well. Is like looking at how, and again, how people were treated, who were brought in particularly to help. And again, because we see that a lot less and less now.
We once helped someone to run away.
Really?
Yes. She was looking after, should I say it? Okay, yeah. Me and my mom.
We helped her to run.
Well, we helped her to get another job where she was being
happier.
paid.
Yeah.
Where she was being paid.
But you know as well, like I was chatting to one of my friends recently and he was telling me, Oti, you know what? So they've got 2 boys under, I think, the age of 6 or something. And they had someone, so these guys, like, they've done well for themselves. They've got a nice house. They have extra room. So they had, again, a family, I don't know if it was a family relative or just a relative who came over to help them look after the kids, right? So like the same sentiment that you have with Oti, you know, it's time for you to do your own thing. So they're like, you know, as the kids are, we will put them in nursery. We thank you for your help, kind of thing. And, you know, from what I know, is like, they're like, you know what, it's really quite tough because they're both working full time. The kids are in nursery. It's expensive. And trying to juggle the whole picking up, dropping off, it's hard. But they felt that, you know, the person who was helping them had done her due.
That's good.
However, so Bevela from their nice house, right? They went to drop her off to her home. So umama lokala maphepha.
Right.
And umama still, like, you know, someone old enough to be our mothers. And wahamba, and she seemed really unhappy to be going, you know. And then it came pretty evident why. She was sharing a room with someone, you know. It's like literally, I think she had her own bed as well. Yes, she was coming from a place where she had her own space, she had her own.
So who did she move to? People she knew? Or?
I think it's people she knew.
Right.
But yeah. So there's that side as well. Yeah. So it's also
redundancy package.
I don't think they had that much money for a redundancy package. Yeah. But I think what they had was just a home with 2 boys, you know, and she may have been happy to stay longer, but they felt like, you know, no, you've done your share here. The kids say we're cool, and and we don't want to hold on to.
But maybe they let her go too quickly. Maybe it should have been a conversation. Good, okay, in 6 months, this is.
But I think, I obviously can't comment because I don't know. But even if that conversation had been there, it would not change her end, the end for her, because it's not exactly like she can then be like, oh, okay, now let me look for accommodation in the south side.
I know a woman civilly who this wasn't a grandparent. I think she was like an aunt or something. Like they brought her and all that stuff, and until she just said, "Hi, Baguette. I just want to go back to my husband." I remember at the time I was like, but then now I understand it. Yeah. Like at the time I was like, and it was the height of like 07, 08, you know, like when things were so tough in Zim, right? But she was like, please, me.
Okay, I know. But anyway, so I guess what is the take home message from our episode there? Because we do need to wrap up before.
No, I think for me it's just like the role of grandparents. We can't try and recreate like what Ukoko does at home, right? And again, I'm being simplistic because there's different examples, right? I think you can't just try and recreate and sort of almost take away it just by bringing them over, thinking you're doing them a favor and have an expectation of what the role is. And again, it's even if, say, you were in Zim, I just feel like some people don't really talk to they just assume
that this is the way it is.
Yeah, that this is.
Do you know my great grandmother is still living?
Oh wow, that's so blessed.
Do you know? It's
That
such
is so
a
blessed.
blessing. Like that woman. I love that woman so much.
That is so blessed. Mina, my great grandmother died. Ukoko my grandmother, Mahlabangana, she died on like she was 90 something.
Really?
So I'm hold on to that anointing for long life.
Yeah.
And she was one of the first black nurses in the then Rhodesia.
Oh, really?
I need to write about her. Ukhobile Hlabangana.
Do you know we should actually sit down and do you know I'm related to Hlabanganas and Kumalos?
We are related.
Somehow, somewhere.
Yeah. I've kind of pimped.
You have through Banu Sunday.
Yeah. When you tried to
I didn't try.
claim my cousin.
I didn't try. I told you, I know my people. I know my
cousin,
people.
all of a sudden,
I was like, you, I'm related to you. I was like, when she was
and
like,
then you guys started bonding. I was like,
she's literally, I was like, hello. She literally poured water on our parade. She was like, I was like,
you're trying to, I was like, but anyway, shout out Sandy.
Yeah, shout out Sandy, our mutual cousin.
Okay, I am really closer to her than you are.
I really don't think so.
Our moms are sisters.
I don't know.
My mom and Sandy's mom are sisters.
Really?
Yes.
Sandy, what's sponsor? Her mom's sponsor.
Listen, I don't want to put her business out there. If I've told you our mom's surnames are the same, be clever, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our moms are sisters.
So we're probably. Have you got a recent invite to a Hlabangana wedding? There we go. Sandy's going to that wedding. I think we'll capile footlock cup.
But I'm related to her from the other side.
I rest my case.
But I'm related to her from her mom's side, not her dad's side.
The dad's side. That's it. Actually, it's so Ozako is your father's side.
What?
Do you not know that?
Go away.
Anyway, cousin Sandy. Just
my biggest disappointment was it.
Listen to the song. It's been on repeat. But anyway, Sandy, please
call your cousin.
Choose.
Call your cousin. Our regular chat. I miss you.
Very, very light.
You chat with her?
Of course I do.
You chat with her?
Hey, when I play the song.
It's taking a while. So this is a song by.
It was instant love.
I've been playing this album by 10 Diamond called A Few Good Poems.
So please don't stress me. Develop my back, but he will not get me. Not as long as mama praying harder than the Pope out here. I'm assured of all the glory that I know I bear. Can't walk a mile in these, you don't know my peer. You don't know how the holes in the souls got there. Who are the reason why the bleeding on my soul don't care. I'm a winner, make the stuff for the succeed. So never fix your face to frown at me. I'll be smiling, waving, so happy. Smurf a king dimple, simple. Till I retire, flow pharaoh, buried deep in a temple. No,
you will not break what you did not build. You will not taste what you did not kill. I will not fall, I will not bend until I will. You will not break what you did not build. You will not taste what you did not kill. I will not fall. Sometimes I feel like I'm flying higher. Over it all. Birds know my name and I'm flying higher. Over it all. And the angels sing my
So this is featuring Amara Brown.
Yeah.
So as I said, that the song is by 10 Diamond. I've been really enjoying this album, which is A Few Good Poems. But you guys, if you guys are listening, I would like you guys to do me a huge favor. So 10 Diamond is like the people's babe. And he's been like putting thirst traps out there, and I've been receiving them. Not receiving. This sounds wrong, right?
Okay.
But I had a little crush on him, which has ended. It lasted for like 2 hours. So can you guys like tweet him and say at 10 Diamond, just listen to your song on at Galen Skies.
Yes.
You know, just so that, yeah. But anyway,
Wonderful.
yeah, I think this is us.
Yeah.
Signing out. Xoli, where can people find you on social
On the
media?
NC Twitter.
And at Malika Diva, and please hashtag Galen Skies.
Over it all. Birds know my name and I'm flying higher. Over it all. And the angels sing my soul.